Hey guys, it's Raquel. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Anime North, aka Doll North, how the con was in general, how the con was in each individual type of thing that I did, as well as showcase the two dolls that I brought with me and that I designed their outfits. So this is going to be a decently long video, I think, so hopefully my lighting stays the way it's supposed to. As you guys can see, I think I'm a little better lit. I've got a new light all the way over there, which was the powerful one that I used to have up front. And then I have my old ring light here. So as you can see, it kind of focuses a little better and it's a little softer lighting. I'm going to see if this works. I may need to put a light up there as well. Hopefully not, because that's going to be a bitch to try to click on. But we're going to run with this and see how it goes. I kind of just smorgasborded it onto my camera. I'll probably show you guys a picture of it later. And so you can see the chaos that this setup is. But if you guys like this lighting, let me know, and I will find a way to fix it properly at some point soon, hopefully. So first of all, I just want to show you my girl here. This is one of the smart dolls I opened up recently, as you can tell by her beautiful hair. And she was my doll for the Project Runway. So Project Runway is a panel at Doll North, aka Anime North, that is about creating an outfit using whatever materials they provide. And all you've got is hot glue and whatever you got in front of you. So I ended up competing in the difficult category, where I had a bag of stuff and that was all I could use. I couldn't use anything else. And I managed to put together this. Now, I will probably show you guys a video either at the beginning or the end of all this, or in between, of a more detailed in the moment show of it, because obviously she did have to survive the travel home and she lost her shoes in the process. So I will put the video up at some point while explaining all this stuff to you, and so you can see the entire outfit in the moment that it was happening. So this is what she looks like. So we were given flowers and leaves, and my design for her, or my design idea, was a warrior princess. So obviously you can see there's nothing on her feet because it came off. So this is my little warrior princess. I really like the design of her and how I managed to put everything together. That's her like cape. It kind of just came to me because I was like, I like this idea in the cape, and then after I did the idea with the cape, it kind of all started coming together and making it look really, really cool. So she is a fairy, an autumn fairy, warrior princess. She doesn't take shit from anybody. She says it as it is, and she is that strong female architect type that like needs no man, but then ends up falling in love with someone at some point. That is my headcanon for her. Will I be keeping, the design, the concept? Yes. I have photos of her. I'm definitely going to have to take some photos of her from the back, because I don't know if I did take any photos of her from the back, but I'm going to take some more photos of her so I can one day recreate this design in the future. But will I be keeping it on her specifically? Probably not. I'll probably keep it around until next year, because I can, and she's wearing it right now, and I really like the way it looks, but it is literally hot glued onto her. So the second I try to take it off, it's going to all come falling apart, which I'm kind of sad about, but I'm going to redesign it in similar fashion, because I do like the way it looks, but like, I don't know, I'm going to put some extra flair into it, I think. On top of the fact that, like, obviously her ears are glued to her face with tape, of course, so I don't ruin the doll head. But I'm going to definitely be updating everything to make it, feel a little bit more organic if I end up choosing to keep her as this warrior princess. Now, that also depends on what smart dolls I have in my stash of boxes, because one of my smart dolls, whether I know she's not a smart doll, but whether it's Kyoko or a doll like her, is going to be my competition doll. Anytime there's a something that I'm going to be submitting an outfit for or whatever, I'm going to have a smart doll on hand, because there were a couple times during the runway where she nearly fell, not due to me, but like the table got rustled or whatever. And the thing is everyone freaked out until I was like, no, she has a squishy body, it's fine. Like, she is fine. So I definitely want to continue using smart dolls for any, competition-y based thing that I go into. Now, did I expect to win? No. I didn't expect to win because there was a lot of people at my table who had brilliant designs that were way more intricate than mine. I just have a very particular um, thought process, and especially when put under the pressure, sometimes my thought process doesn't fully develop. So I didn't expect to win. I never go into any competition expecting to win, but I had a lot of fun. It was like hectic. We were all trying to like respectfully get the glue gun to use it, and we were having a lot of fun at our table, and we were helping each other out, and all in all, it was a really fun experience at my table, and I hope everyone that participated had fun too, because it, just being able to be crafty in a time span at a con, that really, makes my con. So I obviously didn't win, but I'm really proud of the outfit I designed. I'm really proud of the character I designed. And in terms of all the characters that I have, I'm definitely going to be keeping this one as a character that I want to update and fix and, you know, definitely write a book about, because I already have ideas. Okay, I have so many ideas. So this was my Project Runway doll. So again, very, very cool. I'm gonna put her over here. Let's see if I can get her to stand. She was standing for me earlier. Okay, she should be good. If she ends up falling on her ass, I apologize ahead of time for the noise. So that was that one. I'm now gonna show you my doll contest, um, costume contest entry. Now, I did not plan on submitting a doll to this contest. I specifically said I wasn't going to do it because obviously my crafting room's not done. I had no time. But when my friends and I were in the hotel room, literally the Friday of Anime North, Doll North, my friend had this gorgeous cage that she put her doll in. I will put a picture on screen for you guys to see. And she, had this idea of like, because it was, the theme was flowers and plants, nature. She had this idea of like getting some fake flowers and sprucing up her doll and the cage and making it look fantastic. And so I said, hey, if you have any leftover flowers or whatever, let me know, because I have a body with no head that I purposely took to the con to fix it, and then ended up getting super, super into it and just using it as the costume contest doll. So I'm going to show her right now. So this was my costume contest doll. As you can see, she has no head. Her head is made out of flowers. And she is pregnant. And her feet have roots growing in them. So this was the doll I submitted. I'll put the submission photo probably up on the screen. And this has to be one of the favorite dolls I have ever, outfits I've ever designed, because of the simplicity and the symbolism of it all. This creation that I did is called Mother Nature. And it's both in multiple respects. She is the mother of nature. Flowers are growing from all parts of her. As you can see, even in the back, they're growing from her back and stuff. So, like, flowers are literally growing everywhere. But on top of that, she is pregnant, and that symbolizes life of the living, of, like, animals, children, everything. So it was a very symbolic idea I had, that inspired by, I don't know if you guys have heard the video game The Last of Us, but the clickers and the fungus spores of that game having that, head that is not a normal head, it's flowers, but then having this nurturing growth about it. And I, like, didn't know what I was going to do when I started. The only thing I knew I was going to do right off the bat was I was going to put flowers for her head. And again, I'll show you guys the flowers for the head, which I really love how I managed to do that. And so it started with that. Then it grew to, like, the flowers coming out of all her joints and stuff like that. And then I saw this piece right here. What it was a hat. That it was supposed to be some form of bonnet-like hat, my friend was telling me. Tam Tam C was the one who gave me this. And she's like, it's this bonnet hat thingy, but it seemed like there was a piece missing. I didn't know what to do with it. She was gonna, like, swap it at the doll swap meet. And I instantly saw it, bent it, was like, put it there. I'm like, it looks like she's pregnant. I'm using this thing. So that's why I ended up going with. It took us about, 2 to 3 hours to kind of get everything together by the time we got the materials. And all in all, I am very, very proud of this. I did some sewing, I did some just placement, and overall, I think this has to be one of the coolest designs I've ever designed, as I mentioned before. This was, like, I'm surprised she's in such good shape, all things considering, with the travel home. A lot of her pieces actually didn't fall off at all. So, you know how I was saying this body is kind of defective? Well, I think it's going to remain defective. And what I mean is, this was the body that was on the candidate head that I opened a couple, handful of weeks ago, where the legs kept falling off and the arms kept falling off and, the hands kept falling off. And I said, this doesn't seem right. Well, I think I don't care that it doesn't seem right, because I love this design so much, I don't want to take her apart. Like, I honestly don't. So I think I'm just going to keep her as is. I think I'm going to keep her as, she's going to be here somewhere once I figure out where the hell to put her. But I think during the spring and summertime, she's going to be downstairs in my living room to kind of showcase, because I think she's just so cool looking. And I think this is her forever design. Like, I don't think I'm going to change her at all, ever. And in terms of the head that now has no body, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find her another milk body somehow. I know that they're discontinued, but I will find another body for her, because I, again, don't want to take this apart. This design is, I think, my favorite out of the two, because of the symbolism, and just, like, I'm going to make a character out of this one as well. So I'm really, really happy with her as well. And I know I don't have a full video of her, but I will probably shoot one and put it in at some point while I'm speaking, so you guys can see, her in all her glory with good lighting and, the whole shebang. So these are the two dolls that I designed this year. I'm gonna put her here. I know she's kind of, like, in front of the sign, but that's okay. Or maybe I can put her back here. Let's put her back there. Yeah, you guys can see her, kinda. I know it's kind of hard to see the ones in the back, but it's okay. So, those are the dolls that I designed. I'm not sure if I already showed you in the video, because I'm filming this, 5:20 in the afternoon. I still have to edit it, and so you'll probably see an announcement saying, hey, my video is going to be late today, or postponed until tomorrow, because I keep doing this to myself. But this was my Anime North Pass. As you can see, the numbers are very worn out. My username is very worn out, and I use my cosplay username for this because when I go to cons, I am first and foremost a cosplayer, and then my doll stuff and my streaming stuff comes second, unless it's like a con specifically for, whatever it is. So, seeing as it's Anime North and Doll North, Anime North part kind of takes precedence for me. More importance for me. There you go. I'm gonna use that because I can't pronounce words. You can see that I got a couple of banners. 2 of them are Doll North banners, and then one is just one I found at a booth that I thought was really cool. So, yeah. In terms of my haul, I do have a haul that I will show you guys later, but it's not going to be featured in this video because then this video will be far too long. I think I'm going to dedicate a haul video for tomorrow's video, whether tomorrow is Thursday or Friday, depending on when I get this video up. So look out for that. But what I'm going to talk about now is Anime North and Doll North in general, like what I thought of it, how things went, and yada yada yada. So parts of Anime North were, to say the least, disappointing. I felt that Nomanoichi, which is kind of like a yard sale thing, like dealer's room that only happens on the Friday, just didn't feel like it was very, yard saley, like it usually does. It felt like there was a lot of potential, like, bigger vendors that were there that were pretending to be not so much. And it just felt really structured, is the best way I could put it. Like last year when I did Nomanoichi, I call it Nomanachi, so if I say Nomanachi, I'm just going to roll with it. I had, the big, like, square metal frames and everything there, but you could tell that all my stuff was, like, used and, like, my stuff. Like, it was all there, it was all things. A lot of the stuff this year seemed, like, in packages, really, like, really pristine condition, which I know you can find that sometimes, but it seemed a little sus at certain tables because it really felt like they were people in the vendor's hall. And like when I went to the vendor's hall on the Sunday, there were a couple people I recognized from Nomanachi. So that was kind of interesting. And that's not me walking around, that's at booths, so my theory was kind of correct. And it just, that Nomanachi is where I do the most of my spending, whether it's because the Doll North Market, that's another story I'll get to in a second, but I usually do most of my spending at Nomanachi, and this year I did find one doll thing that's going to be showcased tomorrow, but overall, I think I spent the least amount of money at Nomanachi this year than any other year previous. So I was really kind of disappointed in the outcome of what was there. Now, I know it's a lottery and I know it's, people's stuff, but it just was a little disappointing to me because I was like I like buying secondhand stuff. I was really looking forward to finding some cool deals, some cool things, and a lot of things were overpriced, priced higher than the dealer's room, and the vendor's hall, and overall, like, I even saw a couple things that were doll related that were way more expensive at Nomanachi than they were at the doll market, and that didn't feel or sit right with me, So that was kind of disappointing. The doll swap was really fun. A smaller turnout, I feel like, than previous years in regards to like how many people passed through. But we had a good amount of people in the doll swap, and what the doll swap is you bring dolls, clothing, whatever you have that you are willing to swap with other people, and that's it. You're willing to swap for things. You could purchase things. I remember last year or it was the year before, I can't remember which, you weren't allowed to purchase things because it would took away from the doll market. This year, people were allowed to purchase things outright, so that was pretty cool. I ended up doing a couple of really good swaps, which again I will showcase tomorrow in the Anime North Doll North haul that I did. Um, but there was one moment, and I really wanted to point it out because it really warmed my soul, and was really cool. Was it had just opened, we had just started the swap, and this younger adult came up to me. I'm going to call them a her, and I apologize if that's incorrect. Um, just my brain's saying she, and I think that's what the mother said, but I'm not entirely sure. Um, she came over, and again, I apologize if you end up seeing this and it's the incorrect pronouns. I'm just rolling with whatever's in my head. Um, she came up and was like, I really like that one outfit. And that was that outfit that I showcased on my channel a while back that had the stripes and the gold, like, flashiness on the arms and the chains and stuff. Like that really obscure, cool outfit, but I thought wasn't really my style. They fell in love with it. And immediately, like, they had one thing, a doll wig in their hand, and they said, will you trade this with me? And I was so excited to see someone excited for the outfit. Of course, I said yes. Because I'm like, I don't care what I get. Like, it could have been, like, a doll comb for all I care. Like, this person was really excited for the outfit. And they immediately wanted to trade with me because they were that excited. So I got to trade with them. They were super happy with it. They literally left right afterwards because they didn't have any more things to swap and they didn't want to spend any more of their money. And I felt like that was a huge highlight of the swap, was making someone else happy with something that I personally couldn't use. So that was a lot of fun. Like, I was really, really happy about that. Um, so we stuck around. I got to see, obviously, I was with Tam Tam C. My friend Pa was with us. I got to see Nerdy Doll Girl and a couple other people that I haven't seen in a while, like since the last Doll North, if longer. So that was really cool to reconnect with people. But, like, by the half hour before it ended mark, we wrapped up and we headed out because by that point things had died down a lot, and we wanted to go and check out, Nominachi a little more and stuff like that. So, that's what we ended up doing. And so I thought the turnout was pretty okay. I was hoping to swap more stuff, but that's okay. Like, I had fun. I got a couple cool things I'm going to show you guys tomorrow. And at the end of the day, I made a couple people happy, and that's what I'm most happy about, was I made someone else happy. Then the next thing would be the Doll North Market. The Doll North Market, I would say, was pretty good this year. I think it was a little bigger than last year. Not by much, but a little bigger than last year. And obviously, it's not as strong as it was 2, 3 years ago, but I think that, all things considering, it was a decent market. I did find one thing at the market that I ended up purchasing, which again, we'll showcase tomorrow. But overall, I heard that it was a pretty good, marketplace, but it was a little quiet, kind of like last year's type of thing. So that was pretty cool. I really do miss, you know, the aspect of having all the Doll North stuff in one place happening all con long, because you kept having to go to a couple different places in order to do stuff. Um, but I'm hoping that, one day we will get Doll North to the point where it was previously. But, it was a decent market. I know my friends found a couple things here and there too. So it was a decent market, but I hope it will one day reach where it was before. Because I feel like the doll community in Toronto, in Canada, like especially with Doll North, has shrunk, and There are claims that it's getting larger, and yeah, it is slowly rising again, but I personally feel like it still has a ways to go to get to where it was before the what I like to call crash out, which don't quote me on any information on that. I have no idea what the hell actually happened, but shit happened. That's all I know. Um, so yeah, so that's that part. Then obviously Project One Runway was this, and then I found out later that there was the photography contest, which I definitely did not submit anything for because I didn't even know it was running this year because the past few years it hasn't run, and um the doll costume contest, like there were a lot of really cool submissions. I really liked them, though I will say that some of these submissions, you know, I don't know how to put this into a perspective that, you know, it's all my own opinion. So if you disagree, that's completely fine. I just felt like some of the rules are, a little too harsh for it to be a costume contest. I know that it was previously considered a masquerade. It was supposed to be focused on, what you could do with fabric and stuff like that. And I believe that still applies to a degree as was informed when I picked up my doll. But I do feel like there needs to be a category for people who don't know how to sew and who are entering the costume contest with found items, with, you know, putting things together with hot glue, and, not perfectionism is the best way I can put it. I think that regardless of age, I think that would be really cool. I don't expect that to happen anytime soon because, again, Doll North is um, emerging from the ashes. It's still regrowing, it's still getting there, but I do think there needs to be a category that is for people who either don't know how to sew or prefer not to sew and prefer to, get a little bit more craftsy and messy with it. Because I think, everyone has different crafting levels, and I feel like you know, it's a costume contest. I mean, everyone at the con, Anime North, running around, a lot of people had costumes made out of duct tape and hot glue. And they could enter, contests as well, right? So that's my personal opinion. I would like it to be a little bit more inclusive to those who don't know how to sew or prefer doing found crafts and stuff like that. But that's kind of my own like critique and criticism of the contest. However, a lot of the submissions were beautiful, regardless of whether or not they were sewn or not. I found them to be very creative, and I really liked all the submissions, and I congratulate everyone who won. I didn't, again, threw this together on the Friday, so I did not expect to win at all. But I like definitely had a lot of fun making my doll and submitting it, even though the criticism for me was that it was a sewing contest and they wanted to see more sewing. So for sure, I'm taking that critique and criticism into consideration for next year. I'm going to be a little bit more prepared for next year, and I do intend to submit things for each type of contest. Again, I don't care if I win or not. I just would like to challenge myself, and I used to do that years ago, before COVID. So I'd like to start doing that again. So yeah, that was about it. It was nice seeing some people I hadn't seen in forever. Um, it was nice connecting with Nerdy Doll Girl for a little bit there. I know we didn't really get a chance to talk very much, but it was fun seeing you and chatting with you for a little bit. And I know there was a couple other people that are in the community that I got to see and speak to and have fun with. And I really look forward to next year's Doll North, where, you know, I'm hoping that I can bring some awareness to about Doll North with this channel, as well as, maybe participate in the doll marketplace if I can get things where I'd like to see them in the future. Again, no guarantees it'll happen by next year because crafting room is still not done. But I do have plans, and I can't wait to, you know, expand upon them. And I hope that in talking about all this and expressing my opinions and how I felt about the con and everything like that, that it'll help in some way. And I'm excited for next year. I am excited for next year to see what happens, what the themes are, and to participate in general because I've been away from the doll community for so long. And that's not to say I was like completely gone, but the 4 years of absence on my channel was 4 years of absence aside from like chatting with my friends every now and then that were in the community, and even then I didn't reach out to most of them. They had to reach out to me because my life was chaos, as I've mentioned many times. But yeah, overall, Doll North was fun. I look forward to seeing it grow more, and Anime North, even in the dealer's room, like when I finally went into the dealer's room and bought some stuff, I found a couple really cool things. So I'm happy with some of those smaller purchases that I made, but I found the vendor's hall was also kind of lacking a little bit, and the artist alley was fantastic. I really loved the artist alley. Um, I didn't find a lot of stuff that I wanted specifically because I'm like really into Baldur's Gate 3 right now, but I found the artwork to be stunning as always, and as always, the photo shoot was really fun. I ended up going to the Baldur's Gate 3 photo shoot with my friend, and I was running around as a Asterion, and it was a lot of fun as well. So, Anime North itself, I was a little disappointed in for various different things, but all in all, I was happy to hang with my friends and happy to have a vacation away from home. And for the Dolnorth stuff, I liked seeing all my friends. I loved seeing all the submissions. I loved, you know, getting to interact with the community, but I do look forward to it growing and continue to grow and get towards, potentially getting to where it was before. I think with the community's help, we can get it there. And I look forward to participating and helping with that growth. So yeah, apologies that this is such a long-winded video. I just kind of wanted to get all my stuff out on the table, and I really, really appreciate you guys sitting and watching throughout this entire video. It was a lot to remember because it's been a couple of days. But yeah, I did have fun, and I do look forward to it next year and seeing what next year has to offer. So thank you guys all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I know this was a long one, but as always, my friends and family, I will see you guys in the next one. Good night, everybody.